Ash's regional aces are a powerful group of Pokemon that received much more focus and development than Ash's other Pokemon. They are generally considered to be the strongest members of Ash's team, they often play big roles in the overarching story of the series, and they sometimes get special exclusive forms or moves. But what if Ash didn't catch the aces that he currently has in the anime? What if I could replace all of Ash's aces with new Pokemon that I think would fit the bill? So, in this video, I'll be discussing the Pokemon that I think Ash should have caught and used as his aces instead of the aces he currently has. I'll be explaining why and what their story and development would entail. Be sure to smash the subscribe button if you enjoy videos like this. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and I'd be so appreciative for your help to get us there. Of course, hit the thumbs up button too, and comment below the Pokemon that you think could have been Ash's new aces if he didn't have the current ones. So, without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Kanto. Ash's ace from Kanto is generally considered to be Charizard, and his story arc was all about him overcoming his disobedience. But if Charizard wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Marowak. In the first Pokemon games, a big storyline was a Cubone in Lavender Town wearing its mother's skull after she was killed by Team Rocket. I feel like Ash catching this Cubone and helping it to come out of its shell and mature and overcome its grief for losing its mother could have been a really deep, mature storyline, and it really could have helped to develop Ash greatly. Perhaps Cubone could lose control of its emotions and become aggressive or berserk whenever facing Team Rocket members, because of what members of Team Rocket did to its mother. And obviously that would be a big recurring issue, because 3 certain Team Rocket members never leave Ash alone. So Ash would have to help Cubone learn how to take control of its emotions and its grief, and then eventually it would become a powerful Marowak. Johto. Ash's ace from Johto is widely debated because he didn't really have one, to be honest, but I'd say the closest thing that we got was Heracross. It had a little screen time and was shipped off to Oak's lab really quickly, but I'd say it's his strongest Johto team member. So, if Heracross wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Houndoom. In Johto, Ash gave his absolute all to save the life of a wild Houndour who was injured and in grave danger. Ashy Boy really went above and beyond to save this Houndour, and Houndour was incredibly appreciative and thankful. So I would have loved for Houndour to want to stay with Ash and to repay him for saving his life. I love the idea of Houndour acting like a guard dog for Ash, being incredibly protective over him because Ash saved it in the past. But perhaps Houndour could push its protective guard dog nature too far at times, and even become aggressive and territorial towards people and Pokemon that get too close to Ash. And their development arc could entail Ash helping Houndour to overcome its crazy protectiveness and aggression and take full control of its emotions. Hoenn. Ash's ace from Hoenn is generally considered to be Sceptile, and its story arc was about it moving from being solitary and distant to becoming part of the Hoenn family as it grew stronger. But if Sceptile wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Salamence. In the games, Bagon's Pokédex entries all emphasise that Bagon's biggest dream is to someday evolve and fly. So I'd love for Ash to have a Bagon, and its development arc would focus on Ash helping it to reach its dream of evolving and flying. That sounds pretty normal, but perhaps Bagon could be so obsessed with evolution and want to evolve so badly that it keeps overexerting itself to the extreme by forcing itself to battle even when it can't. So Ash could help teach Bagon a healthier way to train and grow until it eventually becomes a Salamence and reaches its dream of being able to fly. Sinnoh. Ash's ace from Sinnoh is Infernape, whose story arc was focused on him overcoming his abuse from Paul and mastering his Blaze ability. In some terrible world where Infernape wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Lucario. Ash found out about his aura wielding ability at the end of the Advanced Generation series, so I think all of us were hoping Lucario and Ash's aura would play a big role in the Diamond and Pearl series, but sadly that didn't really happen. Ash and his ace Lucario should have had an aura bond throughout the Diamond and Pearl series, which got stronger and stronger as they explored their shared aura abilities, and maybe even eventually led into Lucario activating some kind of aura bond form. They could have struggled to understand and control their aura connection before eventually beginning to master it and becoming unstoppable. Sorta similar to Ash and Greninja, except with, well, aura. I'm just glad that Pokemon Journeys is kinda attempting to do this now. Unova. Ash's ace from Unova is often considered to be Crocodile, whose story arc focused on it following Ash across Unova and eventually deeming him as a good enough trainer to catch him. But if Crocodile wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Darmanitan. Darumaka and Darmanitan just feel like Ash Pokemon to me. Also, Darmanitan having a Zen form, where it shifts into basically a statue, has so much potential for a development arc. I would love to see Darumaka evolving into a Darmanitan and then beginning to disobey Ash, sorta similar to how Charizard did. But when Darmanitan disobeys Ash, it enters its Zen mode, and sits still and refuses to move or battle or talk to Ash. This could have had a really nice dynamic with Iris, whose Excadrill sorta did the same thing. Iris's Excadrill disobeys Iris and hides and refuses to do anything. So maybe if Darmanitan and Excadrill's disobedience took place simultaneously in this similar way, then Ash and Iris could have worked together to maybe try and overcome it. It would have added a really nice dynamic between them. Or maybe if Iris already solved her Excadrill's disobedience before Ash's Darmanitan started being disobedient, then Iris could act as a guide to help Ash overcome his Darmanitan's problems. Kalos. Ash's ace from Kalos is quite obviously Greninja, and his story arc was related to him mastering the bond phenomenon in his new Ash-Greninja form, and also being a key player in the Team Flare arc. But in some tragic reality where Greninja wasn't Ash's ace, then I want Ash's ace to be Tyrantrum. Quite a big change from Greninja, right? But just imagine Ash with a massive T-Rex. It'd be insane. I've always wanted there to be an arc in the anime where Ash catches a fossil Pokemon and then he struggles extremely to care for it. Plenty of times the anime has shown us how incredibly difficult and complex it is to look after fossil Pokemon, since they lived millions of years ago in a completely different world. And I don't think we've ever seen Ash being unable to provide the necessary care for his Pokemon. So that would be an incredibly mature and interesting arc, and would be a completely brand new experience for Ash. Perhaps Ash can care for Tyrunt perfectly, but then when it evolves into a huge Tyrantrum, he begins to struggle with tending to its needs, leading to a story arc of Ash learning that he needs to work hard to learn how to care for Tyrantrum, and maybe learning that he's not cut out for it at all. So maybe he has to release Tyrantrum to a fossil sanctuary, or even completely reevaluate the way that he cares for his Pokemon. Rather than the struggle being faced in the series being a struggle focused on the Pokemon, let's switch it up and have it as a struggle for Ash Ketchum himself. Let's make Ash and the way he cares for his Pokemon be the main focus. To be honest, this is what we should have had with Dracovish in Pokemon Journeys, but it is what it is. Alola. Ash's ace from Alola, though debated, is generally considered to be Lycanroc, and its story was focused on it overcoming and controlling its rampages in its new Dusk form, and also overcoming its rivalry with Gladion's Lycanroc. But if Lycanroc wasn't Ash's ace, then I want his ace to be Golisopod. Let's be honest, we all know that Ash should have caught the Wimpod that he rescued early on in the series. Wimpod was so nervous and skittish, so its development arc could have been Ash training the little guy into a powerful, confident, and brave Golisopod. I mean, have a look at Golisopod. It just feels like an ace Pokemon to me. And another area of potential development linked to this should be its emergency exit ability. The way that emergency exit works is that when a Pokemon gets low on HP, it quickly retreats from the battle and switches out for another team member. So perhaps at first, Ash's Golisopod keeps using its emergency exit ability to escape battles because it's so scared and nervous, which would really harm Ash's performance in battles. But then eventually, after spending much time with Ash, Golisopod would toughen up and become more confident and stop using its fear to trigger its ability. It could master Emergency Exit to such a degree that it can control consciously when it triggers the ability and how it works, similar to Infernape's arc with its Blaze ability. Golisopod can take full control over it and speedily switch out of the battle when it chooses to. Galar. Ash's ace in Pokemon Journeys is pretty debated, but in my opinion it seems to be Lucario, whose story arc has loosely focused on its aura bond with Ash growing stronger and evolving and eventually mastering Mega Evolution. So, if Lucario wasn't Ash's ace, then I want his ace to be Urshifu. I mean, this was obvious, right? Kubfu is like the perfect Pokemon for Ash. Since it's super significant in the games, it's so heavily focused on battling and training, and it even evolves through that too. But rather than choosing between the Rapid Strike style Urshifu and the Single Strike style Urshifu, I'd want Ash's Urshifu to be like Dusk Form Lycanroc. It should have its own exclusive, unique form, somewhere between Single Strike and Rapid Strike. Maybe it should be called Mixed Strike Urshifu, focusing on both battle styles, both punching and kicking. It could be such a strong and competent battler alongside Ash, and could eventually master Gigantamax too. It would look so awesome if it was purple, and maybe it could be a different type too. Not fighting in dark or fighting in water, but fighting in something else. Maybe fighting in poison or something else entirely. Fighting in ghost maybe. There's a lot of possibilities. I don't think it would need some big emotional story arc. I just think having its story focused entirely on wanting to become stronger and then unlocking its unique evolution and mastering its Gigantamax form would be absolutely perfect. So, overall, if I replaced all of Ash's aces with brand new Pokemon, I would choose Marowak, Houndoom, Salamence, Lucario, Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Golisopod, and Urshifu. In my opinion, that's a super mixed and unique group of Pokemon, and it's really nice to see no starter Pokemon in my opinion. Let me know in the comments which aces you would give Ash and why, and be sure to like and subscribe too. Help us hit 50,000 subscribers. That would be insane. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.